No matter where you live, whether it's a town or in the country, chances are you don't live too far from a churchyard or a cemetery. Have you ever just wandered around and read some of the headstones and wondered what kind of life these people had, or wondered how they died? If you look closely, you may find one that has a curious epitaph written upon it, or a couple of words that may seem curious and hint to something intriguing. In this series, I'll be bringing you stories behind these headstones to reveal an interesting life or a tragic and sorrowful end. These are not celebrities as we know today. Some may have been recognised in their lifetime but have forgotten names now, or they may be normal folk whose lives were tragically cut short. Join me as I discover some tales from the grave. In this episode, we visit the peaceful village of Alveley in Shropshire and the churchyard of St Mary's. The churchyard has headstones in many designs, sizes and shapes, but only one tells us of a murder most foul. Barely decipherable now are the words "shot by a villain." This is the grave of Edward Wiggin, murdered on his way home from market. His headstone that he shares with his mother Mary reads, "In memory of Mary, wife of Thomas Wiggin of the parish of Alveley, who died March 1st, 1810, aged 66. Also Edward, son of Thomas and Mary Wiggin, who died 26th November 1812, aged 37 years, shot by a villain." An extract from the local newspaper dated December 1812 reads, "Murder. On Wednesday last, between 6 and 7 o'clock in the evening, Mr Wiggin, miller of Erdington, about 2 miles from Bridgnorth, was murdered between that place and his own house. He was on his return from Wolverhampton Market and was met by a footpad about a mile from home. It is supposed that on his making a stout resistance, the villain drew a pistol and shot him through the body. The ball passed in a direct line just below his heart. It seems, however, that the assassin was alarmed by Mr Wiggin's cries for assistance as he made off without taking any of his property, which consisted of between £60 and £50 cash notes. It is conjecture that after being shot, the unfortunate man pursued his murderer about 100 yards and was found by some persons from a turnpike house who had heard his cries. Exhausted with loss of blood, he was carried to the house where he expired in a short time. The money that Edward was carrying equates to between £2,300 and £2,800 today. Speaking to a gentleman who owns Daniel's Mill, he suggests a place where Edward Wiggin was shot nearby, on a path between Daniel's Mill and Camden Lodge. There is no more information on this murder, but many unanswered questions. Was Edward followed by his assailant? How did he know he would have money on him? Who was the murderer? Was he caught, and what happened to him? Why did Edward's family choose to have "shot by a villain" inscribed on his headstone? It seems we will never know these answers unless some long-lost record is found. But all the answers to these questions are like the writing on Edward's headstone, slowly fading away.